Hello sweets, welcome back to my channel. So in this video we'll be learning how to make this bubu dress with this stylish neckline. um the main focus is on the neckline, but we'll be making the dress from the beginning to the end. Making this dress, I didn't have the intention of recording it before, but let's get started. So like I said, I didn't have the intention of recording it, so I've already gone ahead to cut it, but I realized that I don't have this neckline video on my channel. So my fabric is already folded into four. So I got the bust point, which is the nipple point measurement. I got the waist. On the bust point, I impute my bust measurement on the bust point. Then I added 2 inches for ease allowance, and I added extra 1 inch for sewing allowance. On the waistline, I impute the waist measurement, 2 inch for ease allowance, 1 inch for sewing allowance. I repeated the same thing for the hip line. Then whatever measurement I had on the hip line was what I went to measure on the lower part of the gown. So I made 1 inch slant on this sleeve opening area. I made 1 inch slant. Then I just cut that part away. The back neckline depth is 1.5 of an inch, which we can see there. It's 1.5 of an inch. The width is 3.5 of an inch. So I've already cut the neckline for the back away. I did shoulder slope of 1 inch too. All right. So we are going to separate the front from the back. Like I said, I didn't want to record it, but we have to I have to show us how to sew the neckline, then the pockets, the cargo pockets. So after separating, we've cut the neckline, which is the back neckline. We have to get the front neckline, right? So on this fabric, this one is the front, and this is what we'll be cutting the front neckline on. So to get the front neck depth, I came down by 7 inches. Then I connected a slant line, but that's not what we're doing. From the 7 inches I came down with, I will mark 2.5 of an inch inwards, because if you see from the picture of the thumbnail, it is quite wide. Okay, so I marked 2.5 of an inch inwards. Then from the 3.5 of an inch for the neck width, I'm going to connect from the 3.5 of an inch to the 2.5 of an inch on the neck depth. Can you see what we have there? So now I'm going to mark the full length where I want the front neckline to end. So I came down with 16.5 of an inch, okay, just on her waistline. 16.5 of an inch. Then I marked the 2.5 of an inch again, and I connected the straight line like so. So don't forget that the opening is 2.5. If you don't want it so big, you can make yours 2 inches, okay? But it is wide. That's why I made mine 2.5. So I'm just going to cut it out. So you see this part we are cutting like this is the front neckline, okay? So after cutting it out, the next thing we are going to do now, I'm just going to spread the fabric open for us to see what we've done. So this is what we have. Can you see the neckline? This is what we have, right? So we are now going to join the front and the back neckline together. Before we'll be able to continue with anything, we'll join the front and the back neckline together. So I'm going to place the fabric right side facing each other, right side facing right side. Arrange the shoulder, then I'll go ahead to my machine and join it together with half an inch. I will do the same thing for both sides of the shoulder, then I will come back and show us. So if you are a returning subscriber, I want to say a very big thank you to you. I'm grateful for always stopping by. There is no me on YouTube without you. I'm really grateful. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe for more detailed video. So here I've gone ahead to join the shoulders, and this is what we have. I'm just going to spread it open. So now the next thing we'll have to do before we go to the neckline sewing, we have to fix the pockets. Okay, I have already gone ahead to cut 2 pieces of the crepe fabric. Okay, I've gone ahead to cut 2 pieces. So we are just going to go to the ironing table and iron it. And along the line, I'm going to show us the measurements I use for the pocket also. But it depends on how big you want your pocket. But this is just going to serve as a standard for you to make your own, okay, like a guide for you to make your own. So here now, I am folding the edge of the fabric. I am folding it in. I folded it twice, not once, okay. You fold the edge of the fabric in and iron it. So I'm going to fold the four corners of the fabric, the four edges of the fabric. I'm going to fold the four edges of the fabric and I'm going to iron it. I will make sure I iron it very well and I will make sure it relaxes very well. I'm just showing us these details because I do not want to confuse you. Okay, so it's just ironing. I'm going to repeat what I'm doing here now. I'm going to repeat it for the second pocket also. So you can see what we have. You can see how neatly ironed it is. So after ironing the four edges, I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other one like I said. Then on the upper part, I'm going to just sew it down on the upper part. Don't forget that the widest part of it is going to be the up and down. Okay, so now what was the measurement I used? So it is measuring 10 inches wide, then 8 inches for the depth. Okay, 10 inches wide, 8 inches for the depth. That's the measurement I used. So I've ironed the second one too. I have the strap. It is measuring 1.5 of an inch. I will fold the edge, then I'm going to fold it again like this, fold the other side, then fold it into two all together to make a strap because the pocket of the dress is carrying a strap. So I'll go to the machine and just make the strap and come back. So here I've gone ahead to make the strap and this is what we have. And on the upper part of the pocket, I've gone ahead to sew. I've gone ahead to sew it. I've gone ahead to sew it down. So I'm just creating an opening at the midpoint of it because that's where the strap will pass. Okay. I have gone ahead to sew the upper part of the pocket down, like I've pressed it down with a straight stitch. So I'm creating an opening here now for where the strap will pass through. So after creating the opening, I'm going to pass my strap through it with my safety pin. So you just watch and see how I am going to do it. So now that we've passed the strap through it, we're going to repeat the same thing for the other pocket, okay? So I'll do that off camera. So here now, this is the front part of the dress, okay? Now we have to attach the pocket to it, okay? So the next thing we're going to do now, I'm going to get the pocket placement. Where do I want the pocket to be? Normally, your pocket should fall between 17 inches, okay? Except the person you're working with is very big, then you have to go lower than 17. So I'm marking it downwards and I'm using 17.5. You know where the neckline measurement ended was 16.5. So I'm marking 17.5 so that I'm having like 1 inch apart from where the neckline is. Then I'm going to get the middle part of the dress, the center of the dress, but I'm going to use that opening to get the middle part. So after getting the middle part, I'm going to mark. Then from the midpoint now, I'm going to roll it downwards. Then from the midpoint, I'm going to mark to the side, 4 inches from the middle part, 4 inches from the middle part to the side. That's where the pocket will start from. Then on the other side, 4 inches from the middle part, okay? So while giving 4 inches in between the two pockets for 4 inches, that's 8 inches, right? So after that, we are going to get the full measurement of the pocket. Now the width of the pocket is measuring 9 inches. You know, we folded from it, so it has gone to 9 inches. Now we don't want the pocket to be wider than 6 inches, okay? So it means we are going to draw some gathers or some pleats, okay? So what are we going to do? I'm just going to make sure that from the 4 inch, I will measure 6 inches to the side, which I told you that the width of the pocket is not going to be more than 4 inches. So I'm just extending the mid measurement so that I can get the right measurement. So from the middle, I marked 4 inch to the left, 4 inch to the right. So it is from, and now check the length of the pocket. So it is from the 4 inch, I will measure 6 inches. So let's say the length of the pocket is 7 inches. I'm going to measure 7 inches downwards from the first mark we have on the upper part. So I'm just squaring it up. Do you understand? I'm using the measurements of the pocket we want to square it up. So you can see what I am doing, and you can see the markings from the chalk. So after marking it, I realized that it was slanted, it was not straight. So I had to recheck my measurement, okay? But what you have to do is to square it up. If your pocket width is about 8 inches, and you are using 6 inches, mark 6. If the length is about 5, mark 5 downwards, just like that, so that you're getting the right part where the pocket is resting on. So after marking all of those parts, I am going to pin the pocket down. So I'm going to pin the edges of the pocket down first. So you can just watch and see how I am doing it. I'm pinning the edges down. Okay, so you can see that I started from one end. Then I'm going to arrange it on the other end. Can you see? So for it to fit into the other end of the lines that we just drew, you can see that there is excess at the middle. So it is this excess that we'll use to draw our gathers at the strap area and pleats at the lower part of it. So I'm just pinning the 4 edges down like I said. So after pinning the 4 edges down, we are going to go ahead and pleat the lower part. So, but from the end, I'm going to come in by 2 inch. From the end, I'm going to come in by 2 inch, and I'll mark with my chalk. From this other end, I'll come in by 2 inch and mark with my chalk. So the remaining excess of the fabric, I'm going to spread it at the remaining 2 inch at the middle of it. So you can just watch and see how I am doing it. So you can see that I'm pinning the 2 inch I marked, I'm pinning it down so that I will know where to spread the excess. So it's just a pleat, you just arrange it on it and pleat. So after arranging it the way I want it, I'm just going to go to my machine and run a straight stitch. Like I'm just going to sew all the edges round and come back. So here I've gone ahead to sew it round, and I'm removing my pins here. So whatsoever we did for this pocket, I'm going to repeat it for the other pocket off camera, okay? So once we are done attaching the both pockets, we have to now work on the neckline. So I have this crepe fabric that I have already ironed. I've already folded it into two and iron it the way I want it to be. I added paper stay to it. So if you're making any of this neckline, you need to add either hair stay or paper stay, okay? to give it to give your fabric structure. So the measurement I'm using here is about 7 inches wide. Like I said, the neckline is wide, okay, but I went ahead to trim away from it because I felt like 7 inches was too much. Don't forget that the cut from the fabric is 2.5, so on both sides that's 5 inches. It's supposed to be 5 inch wide, so I need like 6 inches of this crepe fabric, because I will now use half inch to sew from it. It will now go to 6 inch. Okay, so when I use half inch to sew from it, it will go to 6 inches and 5 inches. So that's exactly what I did here. So the next thing we are going to do now, you can see me cross checking it. Can you see the measurements we have? So the next thing we are going to do now is to go back to the front itself. Okay, so I will go back to the front of the dress, then we are going to measure. So from the midpoint of the center back to the midpoint of the front, I'm going to measure it all through, because it is the measurement that you will use to cut this band that we will use for the front collar. So whatsoever, when you measure your own, whatsoever measurement it gives you is what you will use to cut. So that is it. You know, the front neck depth, we came down by 7 inches. So from the center back now, we are going to measure to that 7 inches we came down with. It is given 11 inches, but I'm going to use 12 because most times it will not enter your head if it goes up too much. Okay, so here, this is the fabric. I'm going to spread it open. You can see that I've ironed it, so I know the midpoint of the fabric from the gator line. So I spread it open and folded it into two, but it's not supposed to be on the right side. So I went ahead to mark on the right side, but I'm going to spread it back to the wrong side. So from the center back now, I'm going to measure it from the measurement where the collar is ending on the waistline. This is where it is ending, right? But I'm going to spread it to the wrong side, like I said, and I'm going to measure it again. This measurement wasn't really necessary because I had to stop my stitch there, but no, my stitch is supposed to stop at half inch from the lower part. Okay, so after marking it, the next one we are going to mark is from the center back to the neck depth, which is the 11 inches we just measured now. But I said it was too high, so I went ahead to first of all sew from that 11 inches down to the neckline. I'll go to the machine and sew. But after sewing it, I realized that it was too tight. It wasn't passing through my head. Okay, so I had to shift it to about 12.5 to 13 inches so that it can pass through my client's head. So after that, you're going to flip it this way, right? Flip it this way. I've already ironed this fabric, so it is just flipping wherever I am taking it to, because the gator there, they are already serving as a guide. So after flipping it this way now, the next thing we are going to do is to attach it to the neckline. But like I said, on this part, the opening I left is too much on the lower part, but you know that it is not square. The lower part is not square, the lower part of the neckline. So I came up by 1.5 of an inch here, and I made a slant line to the center. Then after that, I went ahead to cut it out. After cutting it out, what the next thing I did was that I went ahead to spread it back so I can sew it and leave half inch. So from this part, I'm going to sew it downwards again. So I'll sew it and leave half inch there. So when you're sewing from the beginning, just sew and leave only half inch. So we are going to open it back. So how are we going to close the lower part? You're going to fold it on top the other side. You fold the other side down a little so that when you're sewing, you don't sew on it. So you go straight to your machine and just close it up. I will do that and come back. So here I have done that. I'm going to open it up, but I will notch the edge. Okay, then I will open it up. Then after I open it up, this is what we have. Then there is this other side that we've not sewn, so we are going to flip it to cover this other part again and sew it. Then do the same thing, notch it and flip it back. Then after that, this is what we have. on the neckline. So we are going to join it now. So from the center back, you will put the center back of the dress, make sure it's meeting with the center back of the collar, right? So I'm going to put it in, sew one side and come back. So here I've gone ahead to attach one side of the collar to the dress. Can you see what we have? So we have to sew the other side of the collar to the dress. Can you see? So you're just going to go down on the neck depth by like ½ inch. So I'm just going to sew the other side also. I'll go to the machine and sew the other side down and come back. So after sewing it, this is what we have. Can you see how the neckline is relaxing very well? Then we have this band for the sleeve. So the band is measuring 5 inches for the width. You can see that the inside I have already added paper stay as well. So it is measuring 5 inch. So when I fold it into two, I'm going to use ½ inch to sew. It will now be 2.5. I'll use ½ inch to sew from it. Then after that, we will go ahead and close it up. Can you see what we have on the sleeve? So I'm just going to go ahead and close it up side by side. Then I'm going to hem the lower part of the gown, and that brings us to the end of the video. If you find this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share. This is the final outcome of the neckline on my mannequin. You can see how beautiful and how nice it turned out. Thank you so very much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.